Puff Daddy P. Diddy, or Sean Combs, began his career in the nines working at Uptown Records a few years into his career. He was fired, so he then created his own label called Bad Boy Records in '93. He signed a Notorious Big, who was obviously a huge Siggy, and made Puff very successful. He signed other artists like Faith Evans and had an in-house production team called The Hitman who worked with artists like Usher, TLC, Mariah Carey, Aretha Franklin, and many more. Puff was already very successful, but then he decided to work on his own music. His first single charted for 28 weeks on the Billboard Hot 100, and his first album sold 561,000 copies first week. So Diddy was already wildly successful early on to his career in the music industry. Not only was he a successful artist, but he was also a powerful executive with tons of connections. He also had other business ventures, with one of his most successful ones being his partnership with Sarah, in which he helped them develop their brand in exchange for 50% of the profits. So if you didn't know much about Diddy, that's pretty much all you need to know. He's a rich, powerful, and successful man in the music industry and Hollywood in general. He's won a Guinness World Record for most successful rap producer in 1997. He's won 3 Grammys, and he's also credited for cultivating artists like Biggie, Mary J. Blige, and Usher. I kept it brief for simplicity's sake, obviously, but I really wanted to emphasize his power, his influence, and his wealth also. I said earlier, he was a multimillionaire, but they have even estimated his net worth to be $1 billion, so Diddy is very rich throughout his career. P. Diddy has also had quite a few controversies. In 1999, he was sued by NASA's manager after Diddy attacked him, for which they settled out of court for $500,000. In 2003, his clothing brand Sean Johan was accused of violating Honduran labor laws. As the factories were based in Honduras, the National Labor Committee said that the employees were forced to work overtime, were paid sweatshop wages, and at the bathrooms were locked. In 2007, Diddy was sued for battery after he punched Gerard Rich Ritzer at a nightclub. No idea if I said his name right. And there's even more alleged violent crimes that he's committed throughout his career. For example, Diddy's ex Cassie Ventura, who we will talk more about later, said that Diddy blew up Kid C's car, to which a spokesperson for Kid Cudi said that it was true. On top of that, for years Diddy has been theorized to be involved in both Pac and Biggie's death. Tupac's murder suspect even claimed that Diddy wanted him to kill both Pac and Suge Knight. There's even the time Eminem said, "The day you put out a hit's the day." Diddy admits he put out the hit that got Pac killed. On top of that, Diddy even admitted that the death of Biggie helped his own music career. Even as recently as 2017, he was sued for sexual harassment by a chef, and the suit was settled out of court. So for a long time, Diddy has been a very shady guy in the music industry, with tons of conspiracy theories following him throughout his career and over the years. As he would continue to have these controversies, nothing would compare to what happened recently. In November of 2023, singer Cassie Ventura filed a lawsuit against Diddy that would set off a chain of legal issues for Puff. She said, "After years of silence and darkness, I finally ready to tell my story and to speak up on behalf of myself and for the benefit of other women who face violence and abuse in their relationships." Cassie met Diddy in 2005 when she was 19, and he was, I believe, 36, and she signed to Diddy's label in 2006. Not only did she sign to the label, but she signed a 10-album deal. She basically signed her life away, and Diddy made her sign this so that he could have more control over her career. So I wanted to get us all together so we can get this. Everybody can hear from me how I'm focused and excited I am about project. I wanted Cassie to everybody to meet Cassie. Why, I know they had an on and off relationship from this time until about 2018. In the lawsuit, Cassie claims that not too long after she met him, he would give her drugs to make her compliant, he would beat her multiple times a year, and he forced her to have sex with male prostitutes while he filmed. He very quickly became very controlling of her, as obviously he was in control of her career, and he would also pay for her car, apartment, clothes, and also had access to her medical records. Apparently, a few years into the relationship, he would coerce her into having sex with male prostitutes while he watched, filmed, and pleasured himself. This stuff is really disgusting and disturbing, but basically Diddy was a cuck, and she said that this went on for years. In the suit, there was also mention of the 2016 incident where he hit Cassie in a hotel footage. Apparently, Diddy even paid the hotel $50,000 for the footage. In 2018, at the end of their relationship, he apparently forced himself into her apartment, and wed her, after which she finally left him for good. Also included in the suit, apparently Diddy dangled one of Cassie's friends over a 17th floor hotel balcony, and the suit also touches on when Diddy tried to blow up Kid C's car in 2012 because Cutie was briefly talking to Cassie. Like I said, one of Cu's spokespeople said this is all true. One of Diddy's lawyers, Ben Brafman, said Mr. Combs Vem denies these offensive and outrageous allegations for the past 6 months. Mr. Combs has been subjected to Miss Ventura's persistent demand of $30 million under the threat of writing a damaging book about their relationship, which was unequivocally rejected as blatant blackmail. Despite withdrawing her initial threat, Miss Ventura has now resorted to filing a lawsuit riddled with baseless and outrageous lies aiming to tarnish Mr. Combs' reputation and seeking a payday in response. One of Cassie's lawyers said Mr. Combs offered Miss Ventura 8 figures to silence her and prevent the filing of this lawsuit. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think it's pretty disgusting to say that this was just full of BL lies because Cassie was seeking a payday when there's literally footage of Diddy beating her in the hotel, and that footage actually wasn't even out at the time, which means the dude was just lying. Like I said, though, Cassie was suing Diddy for $30 million, and apparently the day after they filed the lawsuit, it was settled out of court. It was settled for an undisclosed amount, and both parties said they wanted to settle it in a pleasant and friendly way. There was nothing public about how they settled it. We don't know how much money Civ was paid, if any, or even why in particular they settled. Ben Cesario from the New York Times said for Diddy, the settlement quickly shuts down what could have been a risky and potentially embarrassing process of legal discovery in which reams of evidence are made public and a possible trial, and Cassie also likely didn't want to relive all of her trauma, which is why she probably was willing to settle rather than sit through a trial. But thanks to Cassie's courage for coming forward about this, a multitude of lawsuits followed. Just 5 days after Cassie's lawsuit, another lawsuit was filed accusing Diddy of drugging and assaying a college student at Syracuse University in 1991 and filming it. Then apparently Diddy would show the footage to people as revenge porn. Shortly after that, a third lawsuit was filed accusing Diddy and Aaron Hall of awarding the accuser and her friend. Apparently following the assault, Diddy pulled up to the girl's residence and got violent, even choking the girl till she passed